Hello, everyone. My name is Terry, and I want to start today's episode with a question that I think will make you stop and think. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Take a moment. Think about it honestly. The people you talk to every day, the people whose voices you hear most often, the people who are in your home, your workplace, your phone, your mind, who are they? Now, here's why this question matters so much. The American entrepreneur and motivational speaker Jim Rohn said something that has stayed with millions of people for decades. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Average, not just influenced by the average. Your habits, your attitudes, your language, your ambitions, your energy, your income, your happiness, all of these are deeply shaped by the people closest to you. This is not a theory. This is science. Decades of research in psychology, sociology, and neuroscience all point to the same conclusion. Human beings are profoundly social creatures, and we absorb the behaviors, beliefs, and emotional states of those around us, usually without even realizing it. So today's episode is about your circle, the people in it, what they are doing to you, positively and negatively, and how to think about this with wisdom and compassion. This is a podcast for English learners at B1-B2 level. Today we have a special format, a shorter, more focused vocabulary section with 10 carefully chosen words. Quality over quantity. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let's begin. Let me explain the science behind this idea because it is genuinely fascinating. In 2007, researchers Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler published one of the most remarkable studies in social science. They tracked thousands of people over 30 years and discovered something extraordinary. Happiness is contagious. If a close friend becomes happy, your own probability of being happy increases by 15%. If a friend of your friend becomes happy, someone you have never even met, your happiness increases by 6%. Emotions, habits, and behaviors spread through social networks like viruses, invisibly, quietly, powerfully. But here is the part that surprised even the researchers. The same is true for negative states. If a close friend becomes obese, your risk of becoming obese increases by 57%. If a friend smokes, you are 36% more likely to smoke. If someone in your circle is deeply pessimistic, it affects your own outlook over time. Your social environment is not background noise. It is an active force that shapes your biology, psychology, and behavior every single day. There is also a neurological mechanism at work. The human brain contains mirror neurons, specialized cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing it. These neurons are the basis of empathy, imitation, and learning. In simple terms, your brain literally mirrors the people around you. When you spend time with energetic, motivated people, your brain begins to mirror that energy. When you spend time with people who are stuck, negative, or defeated, your brain mirrors that too. You are not separate from your environment. You are part of it, and it is part of you. When I think about the people in our circles, I find it useful to think about 3 types. Most people in your life will fit into one of these categories, or somewhere on the spectrum between them. Type 1, the elevators. Elevators are the people who lift you up. When you spend time with them, you feel more energetic, more inspired, more capable. They believe in you, sometimes more than you believe in yourself. They challenge you to grow. They celebrate your progress. They are honest with you, even when it is uncomfortable, because they genuinely want the best for you. They just need to have that quality of lifting the energy in a room and lifting the people in it. An elevator does not just make you feel good. They make you want to be better. Type 2, the neutrals. Neutrals are the people who neither significantly lift you up nor pull you down. They are pleasant company. They are not bad for you, but they do not particularly challenge or inspire you either. Most acquaintances fall into this category. Colleagues you like, neighbors you chat with, people you see regularly. The question is simply, are too many of your closest relationships neutral when you might benefit from more elevating ones? Type 3, the anchors. Anchors are people who pull you down, not necessarily through bad intentions, but something about their energy, their beliefs, their habits, or their worldview consistently makes it harder for you to move forward. An anchor might be someone who constantly complains, who criticizes your ambitions, or who is deeply negative about the world. Someone who makes you feel guilty for wanting more, or who simply keeps you stuck in old versions of yourself. Anchors are not always bad people, but they can be bad for your direction. especially if you are trying to change and grow. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a person. Let's call her Maria. Maria is 28 years old, works in an office, and has a quiet dream of starting her own small business one day. Maria's Circle, version A. Maria spends most of her time with 3 close friends from university. They meet most weekends. They have a lovely time together. But whenever Maria mentions her business idea, the response is always the same. "Oh, Maria, that sounds really difficult. Most small businesses fail. You have a stable job? Why risk it? Maybe it's not the right time." Her boyfriend is similar. He is comfortable with routine and slightly uncomfortable with ambition. He never says anything unkind, but he never encourages her either. Her closest colleague at work complains about the job constantly, and Maria finds herself doing the same, talking about how trapped they both feel, but never doing anything about it. After 2 years in this circle, Maria's business idea has faded. She barely thinks about it anymore. She has absorbed the belief that it was probably too risky anyway. Maria's Circle, version B. Now imagine Maria in a different circle. She joins a small local group of people who are interested in entrepreneurship, people who are starting things, trying things, learning from failures, and trying again. One of them started a small online business last year. Another person is working on a freelance project. The conversations are full of ideas, questions, and honest sharing about the challenges involved. Her new mentor, a woman she met through the group, asks her regularly, "How is the business plan coming? What did you do this week to move it forward?" 6 months later, Maria has registered her business name. She has her first 2 clients. She is not rich, she is not finished, but she is moving. Same Maria, same talent, same dream, completely different circle, completely different life. This is the power of your environment. It is about being surrounded by people whose reality makes your dream feel possible. I want to apply this idea directly to your English learning journey, because the principle of the circle is one of the most powerful and underused tools in language learning. Think about your English circle, the people and content that you spend the most time with in English. This includes the podcasts and videos you watch, the English learners or speakers you interact with, and the online communities or study groups you belong to, the teachers or mentors you learn from, and the content creators whose voices are in your ears regularly. All of these form your English circle, and they shape your English in exactly the same way that your social circle shapes your life. If your English circle is full of confident, natural, expressive speakers, your English will move in that direction. If it is full of hesitant, error-focused, self-critical voices, it will move in that direction too. This is why choosing your English input carefully matters so much, not just for vocabulary or grammar, but for your relationship with the language itself. The learners who improve fastest are almost always the ones who have immersed themselves in a circle of good English, whether through podcasts, series, books, online communities, or real relationships with speakers they admire and enjoy. Your English circle is your English environment. Upgrade it intentionally and your language will follow. I need to talk about something that is genuinely uncomfortable, because any honest discussion about the people in your circle must eventually address this question. What do you do when someone who is close to you, someone you love, is an anchor? Maybe it is a parent who has always been critical and whose voice of doubt you still hear in your head years later. Maybe it is a long-term friend who has become deeply negative and who pulls every conversation towards complaint and despair. Maybe it is a partner who is uncomfortable with your growth and responds to your ambitions with sarcasm or silence. These situations are genuinely painful, and I want to be careful here, because the popular advice of just cut out toxic people is often too simple and sometimes quite harmful. You cannot and should not cut everyone who is struggling out of your life. Compassion, loyalty, and commitment are also values worth honoring. But there is a middle ground between abandoning someone and letting them define your ceiling. Here are some things worth considering. You can love someone deeply and still limit how much influence you give their opinions about your life. You can be present for someone without absorbing their worldview. You can gradually expand your circle to include more elevating relationships without dramatically severing existing ones. You can have honest conversations, kind but clear, about what you need from the people closest to you. The goal is not to have a perfect circle of perfect people. The goal is to be intentional about whose voices have the most influence over how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Let us talk about the practical side. How do you actually expand your circle? How do you find and build relationships with people who lift you up? Strategy 1. Go where your future self spends time. If you want to be someone who speaks English confidently, spend time in communities of confident English speakers, online groups, events, or courses. If you want to be more entrepreneurial, attend talks, join communities, read about people who are building things. You meet your future circle by going to the places your future self would go. Strategy 2. Upgrade your digital circle. The people you follow online are part of your circle too. Audit your social media feed honestly. Who are you letting in? Are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Unfollow, mute, and replace with intention. The voices in your phone are as real and influential as the voices in your living room. Strategy 3. Find a mentor, formally or informally. A mentor is someone who is where you want to be and is willing to share the journey. They do not need to be famous. A mentor can be a colleague you admire or a teacher you respect. Most people never ask for mentorship because they think they are not ready. The truth is that most people who have achieved something meaningful are genuinely happy to share what they know. Strategy 4. Be the person you are looking for. Here's the most important strategy. Become an elevator yourself. Be the kind of person who believes in others and celebrates progress. The people you want in your circle are looking for the same qualities you are. When you embody those qualities, you naturally attract people who do the same. To change your circle, start by changing what you bring to it. Most people think of peer pressure as something that happens to teenagers, the pressure to dress a certain way or fit in. But peer pressure does not stop at 18. It simply becomes more subtle, more sophisticated, and more powerful. Adult peer pressure looks like staying in a job you dislike because everyone around you thinks it is a good, safe job. Or stopping yourself from speaking English in a group because your friends would find it strange or pretentious. Standing too far outside the norm of your group creates social discomfort. We unconsciously adjust to match those closest to us. In some cultures, this is called tall poppy syndrome, where those who stand out above the crowd are cut down or criticized. The antidote is awareness. Ask yourself, is this what I actually want, or is this what my environment expects of me? I want to offer a perspective shift before we move into the vocabulary section. We have been talking about the people in your circle and how they affect you. But I want to turn the question around. You are in someone else's circle, right now. Several people's circles. To someone, maybe someone younger, maybe someone who is struggling, you are one of the 5 people who matter most. Your attitude, your words, your habits, your energy are shaping them. The question is not only, is my circle lifting me up? The question is also, am I lifting up the people in my circle? This is a beautiful responsibility. When you choose to be positive, genuinely, not performatively, you give that to the people around you. When you choose to believe in someone, to encourage them, to truly listen, you change their trajectory. We tend to think of our circle as something we find, but the deepest truth is that we build it through who we are, what we bring, and how we treat the people around us every day. Be the person in someone's circle that you wish you had in yours. Before the vocabulary section, I want to give you a short but powerful exercise. Please take a few minutes with this. It is worth it. Take a piece of paper and draw a small circle in the middle. Write your name inside it. Then draw 5 larger spaces around it. 1 for each of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Write their names. Now for each person, ask yourself honestly, when I spend time with this person, do I feel more energetic or less energetic afterwards? Does this person believe in my potential, or do they doubt it? Does spending time with them make me want to be better, or does it make me want to give up? Would I be comfortable if I became more like this person over time? You do not need to act on this exercise immediately. You do not need to make any dramatic decisions. You just need to see clearly, because clarity, honest, compassionate clarity, is always the beginning of positive change. Welcome to today's vocabulary section. We have 10 carefully chosen words from today's podcast. All are B2 level, deeply connected to the theme of relationships, influence, and the people around us. 1. Influence. The power to affect someone's thoughts, feelings, or decisions, often without direct commands. The people closest to you influence you through their attitudes, language, habits, and expectations. Influence can be positive, inspiring you to grow, or negative, making you feel small or stuck. Example, the people around you have a profound influence on your beliefs about what is possible. Understanding who influences you and how is one of the most important forms of self-awareness. 2. Peer. A person who is equal to you in age, social position, ability, or level. Your peers are at the same stage of life or career as you. Peer relationships are powerful because we are naturally sensitive to the norms and expectations of people we consider our equals. Example, her peers at the language school were all highly motivated, and this raised her own level of commitment. Finding a peer group of other English learners at B1 to B2 level can dramatically accelerate your progress. 3. Nurture. To care for and encourage the growth and development of someone or something. It means giving consistent attention over time. In the context of relationships, nurturing means actively investing in the people in your circle as a regular practice. Example, learning English requires nurturing, not a burst of effort, but consistent, patient care over a long period. Even a short message or a genuine question is nurturing. Relationships don't maintain themselves. They need your care. Our next word is toxic. Originally a scientific word meaning poisonous, it is now used in everyday language. It describes relationships, environments, or behaviors that are harmful, draining, or destructive to a person's well-being. A toxic relationship does not necessarily involve obvious cruelty. It can simply be a pattern that leaves you feeling worse about yourself. You might feel more anxious, less capable, or more stuck than before. Apply this word carefully and honestly. She finally recognized that the friendship had become toxic. Every conversation left her feeling smaller and more doubtful. Toxic workplaces have measurable negative effects on health, creativity, and overall performance. Not everyone who is difficult is toxic. The distinction is between people in a hard time and those who consistently damage others. My friend is always negative, but we've known each other for years. Is the relationship consistently draining for you? Yes, honestly. That's worth paying attention to. A long history doesn't automatically justify a toxic present. Our next word is reciprocal. Definition, mutual, existing equally in both directions. A reciprocal relationship is one where both people give and receive in roughly equal measure. Both people invest, both people benefit. The opposite of reciprocal is one-sided, where one person consistently gives more than the other. Truly reciprocal relationships tend to be among the most nourishing and sustainable. They feel balanced, fair, and energizing. The strongest friendships she had were deeply reciprocal. She gave support and received it in equal measure. A reciprocal mentorship relationship benefits both people. The mentee gains knowledge. The mentor gains perspective. He realized the relationship was not reciprocal. He always reached out, but received very little in return. I feel like I'm always the one who puts effort. Is the support reciprocal? Not really. I'm always there, but she's not. That's worth paying attention to. A good friendship should feel reciprocal over time. Our next word is accountability. Definition: the quality of being responsible for your own actions and willing to explain or answer for them. In the context of relationships, accountability refers to the practice of holding each other responsible for commitments and goals with support, not judgment. Studies show that people are significantly more likely to follow through on goals when they have shared them with someone who will ask about them. Her English improved dramatically once she found an accountability partner, someone who asked every week, "Did you practice?" A good accountability relationship is supportive, not punitive. The goal is to help each other keep promises, not to judge failures. True accountability starts internally, taking responsibility for your own choices before expecting it from others. I keep setting goals and never following through. Do you have anyone keeping you accountable? Tell me your goal right now. I'll ask you about it next week. Seriously? Seriously, accountability changes everything. Number 7, contagious. This means spreading easily from one person to another. It was originally used for diseases, but now we use it for emotions and behaviors. Laughter is contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious. Emotions spread through social networks quietly and powerfully. That is why your circle matters so much. For example, her enthusiasm for learning English was genuinely contagious. Within a month, 3 of her friends had started studying too. Also, negativity is contagious, which is why spending time with deeply pessimistic people often affects your own mood and outlook. And finally, the best teachers have a contagious love for their subject. Students catch the enthusiasm without even trying. In a dialogue, "Since joining that new study group, I've been so much more motivated." That's the contagious effect of being around motivated people. I didn't realize how much my old group's lack of energy was affecting me. We don't usually notice it until we experience the contrast. Choose your circle wisely. Their energy is more contagious than you think. Keep learning. Our next word is elevate. Definition: to raise something, literally or figuratively, to a higher level. To elevate someone means to raise their thinking, their confidence, their standards, or their sense of what is possible. An elevating relationship is one that consistently brings out better versions of both people. The word has a quality of both lifting up and inspiring, moving upward with a sense of purpose and light. The best mentor she ever had could elevate every conversation, leaving her thinking bigger than when she arrived. Surround yourself with people who elevate the standard of what you consider normal. She chose her friends based on one simple question: does this person elevate me or diminish me? How do you decide who to spend time with? After spending time with them, do I feel more inspired, more like myself, or less? If consistently less, I start to reconsider the time I give. Choose people who elevate you. Number 9, boundary. A boundary is a limit that defines where one thing ends and another begins. In relationships, it is a clear line about what you will and will not accept. Healthy boundaries are not walls that keep people out. They are definitions of what you need to function well and feel respected. They actually allow for deeper connection. For example, she set a clear boundary with her most negative friend. She was happy to listen and support, but not to have the same conversation about the same problems every single week. Healthy boundaries in friendships create safety because both people know where they stand and what to expect from one another. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is a prerequisite for sustainable, respectful relationships that last over the long term. Setting boundaries is a skill, and like all skills, it requires practice. Start small and watch your circle improve. Keep learning. Our next word is mirror. As a verb, it means to reflect or imitate, to show back something that another person is doing or experiencing. In neuroscience, mirror neurons are the cells that cause us to automatically and unconsciously imitate the people around us. In relationships, mirroring refers to the way we reflect each other's energy, emotions, and habits. Healthy mirroring is the basis of empathy and connection. But we also mirror the limitations, fears, and negative patterns of those around us, often without awareness. Children mirror the language, attitudes, and emotional patterns of the adults closest to them. This is how culture is transmitted. She noticed she was mirroring her friend's pessimism without realizing it, using the same language, adopting the same outlook. In a good relationship, people mirror each other's growth. Each person's improvement inspires and encourages the other. I've started using negative language lately. Where's that coming from? Think about who you've been spending time with. We mirror language without noticing. Be mindful of what you reflect. Choose to mirror the best in each other. See you next time. And so we arrive at the end of today's episode. I want to leave you with something simple. Not a strategy, not a task, just a thought. You are already shaping and being shaped by the people around you. This is happening right now, whether you are aware of it or not. The only question is whether you want to be intentional about it. Intentional does not mean cold. It does not mean calculating. It does not mean treating relationships as transactions. It means bringing awareness to one of the most powerful forces in your life and making conscious choices about how you engage with it. Keep the people who lift you. Protect yourself gently but honestly from the people who consistently drain you. Invest in building relationships that go in both directions. And above all, be the person in someone's circle that you wish you had. Because the most reliable way to have an extraordinary circle is to be an extraordinary person to be in a circle with. Your circle is not fixed. It is not destiny. It is a choice you make, a little every day, through who you give your time and attention to. And it starts today, with the people around you, with the content you choose, with the communities you join, with the English you listen to and the voices you let into your mind. Choose well. Thank you for watching and listening. Tell me in the comments, who is your biggest elevator, the person in your life who lifts you the most? You do not need to use their name. Just describe what they bring to your life. I read every comment, and I will see you next time. Is your circle lifting you up?